Hey, what's good, people, man? Platinum Village Red, yeah, man. Offering up tips on how to navigate through this thing called life, you know? Tell us from the back then, you dig it. Looking at this weather, right, you never know that it's been raining. It's been gone from rain to sunshine 4 times in the last 4 hours. I'm talking heavy rain, you know? But anyway, back to the point. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to live in the moment? Why is it that we find it so hard? It's like a human trait that it's so hard to worry about what's going to happen next, what might happen next, and we all do it to some degree or another. And if you have anxiety, it's like times 100. But it's kind of sad because as children we don't start that way. Children, if you notice, you see children upset. They're fully upset. They're in that moment, man. Tantrums, screaming, everything, embarrassing the parents, all that kind of stuff. And then 5 minutes later, they're playing like nothing happened. And as a parent, you're looking at them low key, wanting to throttle them. You know what I mean? All the embarrassment they just put you through. But it's something that we have, and for some reason we lose it as we get older, which is really sad. If you look at babies, you know, I do to my own sons. You know, put something in front of them, and their face would light up. The moment you put it behind their back, inches away, as far as they're concerned, don't exist. So how do we move towards being more present? You know, and I'm going to show you how you can do that, but at least take steps to do that. But let me first hit you up with a story. You know how we do. We used to spend summers in Kent, and it was like a million miles from where we grew up. London, you know, Brixton, really, Graham, all that. But anyway, Kent had a lot of, you know, green and grass and stuff, so we'd go there every summer. One particular summer, let's get that plate. Right. One particular summer, we went to the fair. Such a lovely day, sun out, and we saw this big old stretch of green field. So we thought, let's cross that because it was a shortcut home. And so there we were, all siblings, 5 of us, having fun, going through, you know, the park, t-shirts and shorts, and everything was lovely and dandy, man. Playing all kinds of games, guess games, this, that, and all the other. And then halfway through the green, the clouds turn grey. You know that kind of apocalyptic kind of grey you see in the movies, like there's only about 3 people left on the planet. Yeah, man, that kind of grey. And I'm not gonna lie, yeah, I was low-key terrified, man, because I'd never seen the clouds so dark. But anyway, we knew what that meant. And then the next minute, thunder. The kind of thunder, you know, where it almost seems like the gods are angry or something. Heavy thunder, man. So we just picked up our steps and started running. Before we knew it, rain, man. Rain was lashing down like, felt more like daggers than rain. You know what I mean? All of us getting punctured and this, that, and the other by the rain. And it got to a point where it was so bad, you know, that we just stopped running because we was only halfway through the green, and we was all drenched down to our socks, looking like sea monsters, you know what I mean, rather than human beings, man. And we stopped running. It made no sense because either way, when we walk around, we're gonna get drenched. And then we burst out laughing. We just burst out laughing. Everyone was laughing, and you know that kind of laugh where you can't stay up on your feet laugh. Cut a long story short, it ended up being some of the most enjoyable times we've ever had. You know, it was a real moment that for our memory book. Now, why am I even mentioning this story? It goes back to what I just said about living. In fact, we'll put it down to 3 words: embrace the moment. The very thing that children do. Yes, we lose, but we can train ourselves to do that again. If you notice, while we was out there in the green having fun, we could have been worried about how wet we were going to be when we walked through the door and how upset Auntie would be. We could have been worried about one of us catching a cold as a result of being out for so long in the rain and in the cold. Could have been worried about messing up our clothes. But it's almost like that didn't even exist in that moment. All that existed was where we were in the moment. And it completely transformed the experience. The reason why I'm using that example is because we have no control over what's going to happen next. And it's almost as if when we worry about what might be, and I say might because we don't know what's going to happen next, we're robbing ourselves of the potential enjoyment of today. When there's nothing you can do and you have no control over what happens next, the only thing left to do is to embrace where you are, whether that's good or bad. Because if you do that, time shifts. It's like, you know, when you're doing exams and when you're doing something you don't like, time seems to drag. But the moment you just say, oh, this is it, we're in it now, time don't seem to move so fast, and before you know it, the thing is done. And it's so important to understand that when we are able to just be in that moment without a care for what happens next, it takes on a completely different meaning, and also that experience is something that you remember differently. One of the reasons why we find it so hard to be in the moment because we're too worried about what's going to happen next, not understanding that we don't have no control over it anyway. I'm gonna invite you to do one thing. This is not something that happens overnight because we've been so used to it's become habit to worry about the next few minutes. But one thing that would help is to spend just a few minutes every day. They call it meditation, but we don't have to get all woo about it. Just spend a few minutes out of every day in the quiet, in peace and quiet silence. Close your eyes and just breathe. Oh yeah, you're going to think about a million things, but just breathe. And if you're going to focus on anything, just focus on the breath going up and down, up and down. And don't worry about the fact that you're going to be thinking about a million other things, including what might I eat today or what time is so-and-so coming. Don't worry about those things. Let them come in and out, just like when you see clouds just passing by. Let them pass through. And the more you do that, the more you'll be able to be in that moment where you're spared the worry about what happens next, because you're training yourself to be one moment at a time, if you like. Yes, it takes time, and yeah, even if for a few seconds, but I assure you that you do that daily, you'll be more able to stay in that present moment. And this is particularly for people that have anxiety. You'll find it comforting to know that even if you can't control what's going to happen next, you can at least try to enjoy what's happening right now. And if that takes you out of that loop for a few seconds, then it's done its job, and it'll get easier and easier. I really hope it's helped, because I know right now that it's a real human dilemma, problem, challenge, which robs us, like I said, of enjoyment. And it's something that we deserve because we were once like that before as children. And if it takes a little time to train our minds to be like that again, it's worth its weight in gold. So I hope you got something from this. Oh yeah, by the way, when we got back to Auntie's house, looking like Steve Monson, we didn't get into trouble for wetting up the floor. We didn't, none of us caught a cold. And Uncle made us some nice fresh crab sandwiches that he caught that day. It's a round off to the story. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, man, and try what I said about the meditation, and let me know how it goes. Yeah. platinum bearded bread. Tell us more about them. Oh yeah, don't forget, like and subscribe and all that good stuff so we can do this again. Yeah man, beautiful.